There, they're coming on board. Hey, it's Dr. Wendy Walsh. It's Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I'm always here doing a live stream. This is an Ask Me Anything. The first thing I love to hear from people is where you're watching from. I'm trying to set up StreamYard at the same time. I'm doing some tech here. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see people on different time zones and from around the world, or at least the country. If you're new to me, I have a PhD in clinical psychology. I'm a psychology professor. It's my favorite job in the world, teaching young minds. But I've always been obsessed with the science of love. So I've written 3 books on relationships, and my social media is mostly about the science of love. So I'm happy to ask or answer a few little questions that you might have. And I do this Wednesday live stream for just a few minutes, 15 minutes maybe, before I head over to my Patreon Zoom room. If you don't know about Patreon, you should come over and find us. Patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh, where you can join us. And we have a really great group of super smart people and talk about everything love and relationships and that kind of stuff. So how come it's not spinning ahead? That's weird. There we go. We're at New York, Australia. Tustin, hi, your neighbors. Oh, Lysandra's here. She's going to be in both places. I'll see her in a few minutes in my Patreon Zoom room. Why is it not scrolling on Instagram? I have to do it myself. Hello, Costa Rica. Missouri, Nova Scotia, Canada. You know, I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yo, Melinda, why is it not? I have to make it move. Hello, Angelinos. Oh, now it's moving. The guy I'm seeing is popular. How do I stand out from the competition? Well, I can quote the research if you know that high value mates don't really work hard because they tend to have a lot of attention coming at them. So if you can think that there's this high value mate, we'll call him that because you're saying he's popular, and he's got everybody coming at him. What about if there's a way for you to kind of get noticed and then disappear? Get noticed and disappear. In other words, don't do too much, and definitely don't over-sexualize yourself, because then you're basically saying to him, you can have a short-term relationship with me, right? You did not get the Zoom link, which is crazy. Is there a way for you to go on to Patreon, Lysandra? Because I did put it out in a Patreon post today. You're not getting any Patreon posts? Okay, I'm going to have to, as soon as we go off this, how there's a little break, then I will send it to you on the email address you gave me today. Is pornography classified as an addiction? Is it possible for someone to quit cold turkey, or is it better for them to wean themselves off? I know someone who's struggling. Well, according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, pornography is not considered an addiction. Now, it can have some addictive qualities. When I interviewed researchers in this area, it was really fascinating to see the science. Interesting enough, pornography use tends to be more compulsive when it's associated with religiosity. Now, let me explain. So people with religion are often given not a lot of sex positive messages in their life, a lot of sex negative messages. So after they use pornography, they often have great feelings of guilt and shame. And then to try to get rid of those feelings of guilt and shame, they use more pornography. So it becomes a vicious cycle. I would definitely have to ask you to reach out to a sex therapist or a licensed therapist if you feel that this is becoming a dysfunction in your life. And I don't want to say that all pornography is bad. I don't want to say that it's always bad for everybody. Some people can use it as a healthful way to enhance their monogamy or enhance their, have autosexual behavior, etc. Oh, wow. Questions are coming. So if your problem is that you drop people too quickly, Anya, you should do the opposite then and see what's different. And if there's somebody else who basically sticks with, inappropriate people too long, I'd say, you got to learn to drop them fast. But it sounds like your issue is finding one bad thing and dumping them quickly. What is your take on arranged marriage? My family believes arranged marriage, and I don't want to trust my choices anymore. So I'm thinking to opt for an arranged marriage. Do you think it works out? Well, let me just tell you the statistics. Arranged marriages have a 4% divorce rate, and romantic marriages, a 50% divorce rate. Why? Partly because the cultures that they're in don't condone divorce. But secondly, there are 6 people in an arranged marriage who have a vested interest in helping it survive. There's 2 sets of parents and the bride and groom. There's also some research to say that when you live in a collectivist culture, if you're part of a tribe and you kind of do what the tribe says. Sometimes you actually have better mental health. Now, obviously, if your tribe is dysfunctional, abusive, hurtful, like some devotedly religious communities that may say that homosexuality is a sin or something, and the person can't be their authentic self, that's different. But if you're in a tribe, a community, a village, a group, you have to think less if you've got a lot of brains helping you think. Talking to a guy for 2 years, but didn't see him for a year, but still talking to him every day. I want a serious, whoa. I want a serious relationship, but he just wants to hang. We're both there. Thank you from friends. Oh, okay. If you're not actually seeing each other in the real world regularly and developing emotional intimacy, in my opinion, that's not a relationship. It's a fantasy in each of your heads. So if you're not seeing somebody for a year and you're talking every day, it is satisfying something in your brain, but not going to help you reproduce. It's not going to help you have a nice long-term healthy relationship. As a psychology professor, what do you think your reason is to gamify relationships? Many therapists advocate for open communication. I don't think I do gamify relationships. I quote the work of many evolutionary psychologists whose research shows that human mating strategy is strategy, right? One strategy is to have open communication, and it's a good strategy. But when it's not reciprocated, people need to know to move away because their needs are not going to be met. You can't just sit there and keep falling on the cross and bleeding in front of somebody and hoping that they'll just turn around and be intimate with you. What do I think about having a relationship with a married person? Well, as a young person who made that mistake a couple times, it's filled with pain. And it tends to attract people who are afraid of intimacy, like I used to be. And so it's not going anywhere, because trust me, even if they did leave their spouse, they're going to use you as a stepping stone out, but they're not going to get with you. I don't harp on men so much. I love men, especially good guys. In fact, I think women need to choose more good guys. I think a lot of good men are being squeezed out of the mating marketplace because all these women are hovering around just one alpha. What dating app do I think is best? I think they're all good. I don't think dating apps, one is better than the other. It's how you use it, right? I believe that you negotiate commitment from the very first text. If somebody says, hey, you want to meet for coffee in an hour? If you're that available and that busy and that desperate, no, don't do it. You say, oh, I'm sorry. I like to plan ahead, right? So you find ways to make sure it's real, get into the real world, build intimacy. And if you're just texting on apps, you're not doing that. I was with my fiance for 9 years. We broke up and are trying to move on. How long should I wait for him to reach out if he wants to work things out? You were together for 9 years. Well, you had a relationship. 9 years of a relationship. You didn't get married, so fine. It's done though. Why would I'm just curious to know why you'd be waiting around for him. That's what I'm saying. Why would you be waiting around? Okay, let me watch the time. Oh, I'm not even looking down here. I forgot to look at all these comments over here from YouTube. Hi, Greenlee, Ontario. I don't know Greeley. Hello from Lake, Los Angeles, Lake Place. Okay, question. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but it's kind of a funny question. I want my girlfriend's family to act and be the same as mine. A part of me wants them to be the same as us to bring harmony. Is that too much to expect? Yes. Individuals are all different. Family systems are all different. We have to learn to accommodate and respect and understand. Why is it not rolling again? That's so funny. Okay, someone wrote some dating apps can be dangerous. It's not the apps that are dangerous. It's the naive people who understand that there are sometimes fake profiles and there are sometimes trolls out there, and you're not supposed to send money to somebody you haven't met. And even if you met them, you want to still vet them for a while. It's not the dating app. Okay, this person says, my girlfriend is 28, almost 29. I'm 28, or is 28, and I'm 28. She wants engagement soon. This commitment scares me, but I love her. Well, it depends how long you've been together. It depends what your reproductive goals are. It depends if the families have both met. There are so many things. I would tell her that you're frightened. That's a great road to intimacy. Why not be honest and just say, look, I'm really scared of this commitment. I love you. I don't want to let you go, but ask for a little more time perhaps to make that decision. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm trying to scroll them. They're moving around so fast. How long to wait to date after a long relation, 24 years of marriage? Well, congratulations. You have now graduated from that marriage and you're moving into a dating life. When till death do us part was invented, if you've been following me, you know the other half of the sentence, death was pretty imminent. As a result, we are outliving our relationships. Even the most monogamous of people may have 2 or 3 long stints of monogamy in their life with some mate selection in between that we call dating. It's difficult. These are transitions in life, but I say as soon as you want to, you should be dating again. It's not like there's some social rule that says you have to mourn for a year or anything. In fact, sometimes one way to help heal from a divorce is to get back on the horse and ride it. Just get out there, see some people, enjoy relationships. I don't think there's any rule on that at all. Okay, so I have time for just a couple more. Oh, hello, Olivia Lee. How are you? Let's talk about our daughters. How do we guide them? You know what? I think the most important thing we need to tell our teenage daughters is that men have different sexual psychology than women. I would say the biggest mistake I made as a young woman is assuming because I was falling in love and I was having all these feelings because of the assault of neurohormones that come with sexual arousal, that I assumed they were having the same thing. But you know what? Men can have sex with the same woman every week for 6 months and not like her one bit more than he did on that first date. And it's more easy for them to separate sex from love. Now, men have reported to me that they have much better sex when they're in love, but they don't fall in love through sex. And all young women need to know this. They fall in love through trust. And sadly, they don't trust a woman who gives them sex easily. Now, I have read the work of evolutionary psychologists like Dr. David Buss at the University of Texas, who basically makes a case for the fact that men have evolved to be very wary of women who may have multiple partners. That's why women get all worried about their number and men want to know their number. And we all call it slut shaming and we say patriarchy invented it, but it goes back much earlier than that. It goes back to our ancient hunter-gatherer past when we have concealed fertility, right? You can't tell when a woman is fertile 3 days a month and she may not even know. And then it's concealed. And so he has to kind of be wary of who she's with or where she's going, or he could end up raising another man's genes. Remember, we're walking around in ancient biology, very old brains. And you can say, yeah, but we have paternity tests now or whatever, and women should be sexually free. All true. But we're working with old machinery. And that's what people need to understand. I'm going to take one more question that I see over here on StreamYard, which is, I think, on YouTube. What does men's state of readiness mean? I've talked about this a lot, but there's a certain point. So this is the other thing a lot of women need to understand, is that women are ready to commit when they've met in their mind the one. Men commit when they've hit a state of readiness, and they tend to take whoever's up at bat. They may have better mates, have had better mates before them. They may envision better mates ahead, but when they hit that state of readiness, you will hear them say, when you say, why are you getting married now? It's time, they will say. So ask yourself, what influences a man's state of readiness? Well, it's often social contagion. That's when peer groups are getting married. If he's still running with a whole bunch of single guys and they're going off to Vegas for fight night, probably not near a state of readiness. If he comes from a family with few divorces and parents are married and there was sort of a time of life. But the main thing for guys is they want to get their career in order. They know that committing to a woman can be expensive. It's a financial obligation, especially if a baby shows up. So their education behind them, their career set, right? You look for all these things. If they're still, figuring out who they are and still studying, they might be a great boyfriend. But if you're looking to get married and have babies, they're probably not ready, right? That's all I say. All right, I am heading over to my Patreon Zoom room now. I encourage you to join. There's 15 minutes for you to sign up for this week, but I'm there every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And there's a Zoom link that's there live right now. You can come on over. And we have a great group of people, super smart, and they're from all over. And we just love to talk about the science of relationships. So feel free to join. Patreon.com/Dr. Wendy Walsh. And also remember to listen to my radio show on iHeart Radio. You can find it anywhere on the iHeart Radio app. If you live in Los Angeles area, it's on KFI AM 640 Los Angeles, and that's every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. So anyway, it's always my pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm heading over to Patreon now. Bye. Okay, let's start with ending this one.